as long as it's closer. All right. So we're good to go now. We're going to talk a lot about gaining momentum, getting your momentum back, and giving you guys some tips and tricks. And you'll also be hearing some stories about us and how we got started. But not only that, but how some of us decided to get back up when life got tough. So, Christina, do you want to do it first? You want to go first? Okay, cool. So I'll mute myself really quick.
Hello, ladies. So my biggest tip, because I am actually, I'm the one who got my momentum going, hit a rank, and then I went, boom, and I lost all of my momentum. I lost my rank. I fell. I let life get the best of me. Instead of using what happened to me to build my momentum and to like fuel my motivation, I just kind of sat there in my funk and I let it bring me down. So my biggest tip is to just put it on high and just to keep going. Don't slow down, because the moment that you slow down, that's when you're going to stop. Have a goal, plan it, prepare, and then execute that goal. And what I mean by that is when you have a goal in mind, write it down, have it in front of you, even if it's sticky notes. Like I know I have sticky notes everywhere. When I have a goal, I like put them all over my cupboards and I write on my bathroom mirror. And sometimes people will come to my house, like Jay's family, and they're like, holy cow, like you got sticky notes everywhere. And most of the time they won't question me about it, but just have it all in front of you, what you want, why you want that goal, and what you're going to do to accomplish that goal. And then do your income producing activities are the most important. Like, yeah, posting on Facebook is important, but like they always say, posting on Facebook's not gonna get you your money. It's not gonna get you where you want to go. It is important though, because when you do post on Facebook, it's like putting the open sign on your business that you're open for business and you're staying consistent in it. But ideally, it's not going to make you your money. It's not an income producing activity. So being in your messenger is really where it's at. And you want to make sure that you're in your messenger every day. So that's what I got.
Yeah, I was trying to hit the unmute button and it just was like not letting me click it. So yes, I agree 100%. Your income producing activities are really, really big, guys. Like I'm dead serious. If I was not adding and messaging every single day, those are like the most important things that you can do. Add, message, follow up, add, message, follow up. That should be worked right into your daily routine. And let's just say you have a crappy day. We've all had it, right? Like raise your hand if you've ever had a crappy day. Hey, okay, we're all in the same exact boat. When it comes down to it, if I were to say, oh man, I'm having a crappy day, like today, for example, I didn't have a crappy day. I had really bad anxiety. Okay. Like my anxiety was like at a level 10, and it has been the past couple of days or so, because I'm trying to work on getting in control of certain things. That some things I can control, some things I can't, right? And I have to give that to God and give it up. But anyways, long story short, when it comes down to it, I could literally sit here and work my business just doing adding, messaging, and following up. And if those are the only things that you can get done that day that you're having a really hard day, that's what you should focus on the most. Those are called your income producing activities. That's why we call them IPAs. And these are the things that when you get new distributors, you're going to want to teach them. This is when, you're having a crazy day. Those are the things you want to focus on the most. Like, for example, I'm headed to Nashville in less than a week. Okay. Or down south. We're going to go to Alabama first. Then we're going to Nashville. I am literally going to focus the most when I land and when I am in my layovers on my IPAs. Okay. Not as much as posting, not as much as my story and stuff like that. Yes, those are very, very important, but focusing on those are what's really going to gain you momentum. Okay. So those are the things that we're mainly talking about tonight. So thank you for sharing that, Christina. Christina had a lot of life happen to her when she first started this business. And so, like she was saying, she went through a lot. She lost it all. She went and went backwards in her rank. And then she had to make the decision for herself. And she had to decide, do I want to stay exactly where I am right now for the rest of my life? Or do I want to move forward? Right. And so we've all faced that, whether you faced it at the beginning of your business or at the end. And how many of you guys were at conference and heard, I want to say it was Kyler that had said on there, he said, there was you have 2 start dates in this business, right? You have your start date where you actually physically start and you order your business builder kit. And then you have your start date as in the day that you make the decision that you're going to gain the momentum in your business. Okay. And that is where people go diamond. That's where people go ruby. That's where people go double. That's literally where you make it happen is making that decision that the momentum is going to get there. And once you get it going, it starts rolling in like crazy. Okay. When we are in the middle of a promotion month or like in a season like we are right now, we're in our boom season, which means that things are rolling a lot more heavier than they normally are. But the only way that you have things rolling heavier than they normally are is if you started a couple of months back hustling, or you just started and you started messaging like a madwoman. Okay. And you started adding like a madwoman, which I know a couple of you guys are on here that are brand new, and you got in and you went boom, boom, boom. Do you want to know why people are coming to you? Do you want to know why you're getting a lot of feedback and you're getting a lot of answers and you're getting a lot of host to post and things are going crazy? It's because you're already starting to build that momentum. So don't stop it. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Don't give up on that. Focus on what you need to do every single day. And don't take hard days as a day of like, man, I need to take a step back. I need to breathe. Take it as a day of, oh my gosh, this is scary, but we need to move forward with that fear and that doubt, because that's the only way we're going to get through it. That's the only way we're going to push through it, is if we run right straight through it, right? That's the only way we can overcome challenges and fear and doubt, is when we plunge straight forward. Okay. So we're going to have Haley go next, and then I'm going to finish this off. So if you want to unmute yourself and go ahead, girl.
Okay, hold on one second. So basically I want to talk about something that's really important to me, and something that I did that, oh, he's so rude. Just ignore him. So you're gonna have to wait. So when I started this business, I started this business for the money aspect, like anybody else. I started this business because I had kids. I was pregnant. I wanted to continue to be with my kids, so I needed the extra money. But what they don't tell you is when you start this business is you have the momentum from your day one, like Chelsea said, and you also have the day that you start personal development. And that is the day that pushes the momentum in a completely different direction. It's a completely different momentum. It is something that everybody has experienced. If you've started this business, if you're doing this business, you have not experienced that, then you need to pick up a book or a podcast or something. It's something you need to do every single day. When Chelsea was talking about those income producing activities, and on your bad days, if there's only those 3 things you can do, make that number 4, personal development needs to be at the top of that list, no matter what. Because I have fallen in this business and I've gone through some rough patches. In 2 years into this business, I lost my grandmother that raised me. The woman that had always been a part of my life, I lost her 7 months pregnant with my daughter, and could not grieve because it scared the shit out of me that I was about to hurt my daughter because of all the pain I was feeling myself. So I held it all in. 2 months later, I went executive and I had my daughter. And it had gone downhill from there. Everything that I had to go through with my grandmother. I still did personal development every single day, but I did not work my business. I did not do my income producing activities. But getting back up again after you fall you can lose the momentum. It's easy to lose the momentum if you're not staying consistent. But what's hard is getting back up and gaining that momentum again. Momentum isn't something that's just going to come once in your life and then you're never going to get it back. So if you have that momentum to get a certain rank and then you get that rank and you lose that momentum and you lose that rank, you get back up the next day and push for that momentum again. I feel like momentum is something that you push for more than motivation. Momentum is something that once you get it, you've got it, as long as you continue to do it. And it's just staying consistent. That is the hugest part of it. It's staying consistent in your everyday, what you need to do, knowing that's what you need to do. So it can be lost, but it can be gotten again. I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't see. They're like, you can, if you have it, you have it, but you can lose it. Let's be honest with you. We all fail. We all have those bad days, and we all let those bad days get to us. So when you fall, just realize that tomorrow's a new day. Get back up and go again. And honestly, I feel like that's all I have.
Thanks, girl. Yeah. And it makes sense. Like, it is really, really easy to lose momentum. If you get started, let's just say like today, for example, if I were to choose to go to bed right now, instead of getting my own personal work done, meaning responding to messages, I have to do, my messaging spree, adding on Facebook, stuff like that. And we're not saying like taking a day off. We all take days off, but when it comes down to it, you have to make sure that you earn those days off. You have to be that honest with yourself and look at yourself and say, do I deserve to have a day off after the week that I have given in my own business? Right? Because when it comes down to it, if you haven't, then you're not going to gain that much momentum in your business from the start. You know what I mean? So, I'm just super honest with myself. And if I have a really rough week and I really kind of half-ass things, for lack of a better word, I make sure that I get up and I make sure that I get it done on my day that I normally would take away from my phone completely. Right? Because I took the time off throughout the week instead of taking my one full 24 hours off. Okay. So it's really important to be honest with yourself. That's why I put that in the group chat the other day about us being honest. And I love that podcast that was in there about just being honest with yourself and understanding that if you're not, who's going to be, right? If you're not telling yourself, get up and go, who's going to tell you? If you're not telling yourself in this business, you've got to get those IPAs done, who's going to? Because ultimately you are your own boss. I am my own boss. You're your own boss. We all are our own boss every single day. And nobody else can do it for us. Nobody else can put the hustle in for us. Nobody else can gain the momentum. Nobody else can take the momentum away from us. It's literally 100% on us. And so that takes growth. It takes shifting your mindset to be that person who just keeps staying consistent, and having that no excuses mentality comes with growing. It comes with doing the personal development. Like Haley said, I was not, born into this business just all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I need to just get it done every single day. Right. I took 4 months before I actually got up and started running in this business. I actually started in November of 2017, and I started and I did absolutely nothing in my business for the first 4 months. Like legit nothing. So some of you guys who are coming in and you're already signing loyal customers, you're already signing distributors, you're already earning bonuses. Think about, when I first started, that there was nothing, right? And the person that was on my upline, she didn't give any grace, and so it was kind of, I was on my own from then on out. It was well, Chelsea's not working, so she didn't want to work it, right? Like, she didn't want to work with me. So when it came down to it, I don't know why God's just leading me to this conversation right now. You got to give your new distributors grace just as much as you would give yourself grace. You got to give yourself grace, every single day when you're working this business, but you have to understand that those IPAs are very, very important if you want to get to where you want to go. So when I first started, the first 4 months, I did absolutely nothing. And then I made the decision because I saw Mandy on Facebook, who we all know, she's on our Monday night calls. I saw Mandy and she was talking about how she was earning this bonus, and everybody was in the chat and they were blowing it up. And the excitement around that made me excited. So I reached out to her and I said, well, what are you doing every single day? Because I didn't know, I didn't have anybody to teach me. And she told me, okay, well, first of all, you need to change your mindset. You got to grow your mindset. So she directed me in that area. But then she was talking about income producing activities. And that's when I realized that I legit was doing nothing for my business. And so 5 months in, I started by just sending messages. And like a lot of new people, when they first get started, I started with like 10. Okay. I started sending 10 every single day. And a lot of you high achievers, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say, like, if you were to send 10 messages every single day, would it get you very far? Probably not, right? If you were to add 10 people every day, would it get you very far? Probably not, right? You're not going to get the momentum by doing that. You got to crank the heat on high. So I want to share something that Jade Hooper shared with on a Zoom call, actually, or it wasn't on a Zoom call, it was on a video that she had made in a page that I was in at one point. And she was talking about think of your business like a pot of water. You take a pot of water just straight out of your kitchen, fill it up with water. If you put that water on the stove on, let's just say, level 1, what do you think it's going to do? Probably not boil, right? It'll just be still water. You won't see any motion, no nothing. But if you take that same pot of water and you put it on the stove and you crank it on 9, what's it going to do? It's going to start boiling and rumbling and start boiling over, right? Think about this. If you crank it up to 9 and then you drop the heat down to 3 again, you're going to lose it, right? It's not going to be there anymore. Think about your business just like that every single day. If you want massive results and you want it quickly and you want the momentum to build there, and I shouldn't say quickly, but if you want the momentum to be gained in your business, you got to crank that sucker up to 9 and you got to hold it full throttle. You got to make sure that it's on 9 and it stays on 9. Right now, this doesn't mean that there's going to be some days where you're going to take 24 hours off, because that's what we do, right? We need that day of rest. We need that day to detox ourselves, because we're going to get burnt out if we don't. But it's very, very, very important to make sure that the other days you are cranking on high so that you earn that 24 hours off, right? Because the momentum that you're building in those 6 other days, people are still going to be flowing into your business on the 7th day, even when you're not there. Even when you're not there, because you worked your butt off Monday through Saturday, or whatever days you're choosing to work, right? Making sure that you're staying consistent with cranking that heat on high is so important. And it's crazy because I was thinking about this the other day, and for some reason it just came to my mind. So when I first started, like I said, I was sending out 10 messages a day and I was adding 10 people a day. And I sat around and I always wondered, well, why is nothing taking off? Why am I not going diamond yet? I'm staying consistent just like everybody else, like I'm doing all the things that everybody's telling me to do. But it took that one Zoom call. I hopped on a Zoom call with someone that was on April Jennings' Zoom downline at the time. And they were literally talking about how if you want more, you have to do more. And I didn't understand what that meant. If you want more, you have to do more. What do you guys think that means? If you want more, a bigger outcome, right? If you want more loyal customers, if you want more distributors, if you want more of a paycheck, if you want more bonuses rolling in, if you want your team to do more, okay, this is really huge. We're getting into detail now. If you want your team to do more, you have to be willing to do more in your business. And what I mean by that is you have to be willing to crank the heat on high, and you have to be willing to do more messages, more adding, more follow-ups, more responding to people, more of the things that we normally naturally do every single day. Does that mean more posting? Probably not, right? Most of us are staying consistent with posting every single day, no matter what. Maybe you're not, and maybe that's one of your biggest downfalls. But when it comes down to it, I'm not talking about posting. I'm not talking about stories. Does that help your business? Absolutely, it does. I've attracted so many people who are just like me just by making sure I post every single day. But what I am talking about is do more of the messaging, do more of the adding, do more of the follow up. And sometimes it's really hard because we don't know, what does that mean? Like, how much is more, right? Have you guys ever like felt like that? Like when they say do more, do you ever question yourself? Like, well, what is more? Like, what is enough? What's going to be enough, right? And this is what I say, you got to find your number. And this is something that I learned when I first started my business. And I tried this out. I actually tested this because I had an upline of mine, or well, of all of us technically. She was talking about how she learned how her number. And what I mean by that is how many messages or how many ads does it take to get as many back as you need throughout the day to meet your goal, right? So if I know that I need to sign 4 loyal customers this week, my question is how many messages do I need to send in order to make that happen? That's what that means by finding your number. Okay. If I know that I have a goal that I want to have 100 people add me on Facebook this week, well, how many times do I need to click that add button on Facebook for it? Guys, it's a numbers game. That's literally what you're in right now. That's what this business is. It's all a numbers game. It's simple, right? You're messaging, you're adding, you're following up. You're messaging, you're adding, you're following up. Those are the 3 repetitive things that you're doing over and over and over again. But it's truly a numbers game. And I'm going to share with you guys how I find my number and how I found it. And sometimes it's even shifted. Sometimes my number, at one point it was like sending 200 messages. And now it's like, I have to send 500 messages in order to get that. And sometimes even more. So it's going to fluctuate, but you can find a ballpark of where you're going to push yourself to go every single day. And that's what's going to hold you accountable. So now what I do is, and I explained this to a couple of people the other day, when you're working your business, this is how you can start to gain momentum. When you're finished a full work day, right? Like you're probably after this call, everybody's almost ready for bed, right? Go to your messenger and count how many messages you sent today. You could even take it a step further and you could check into how many host to post messages that I send, how many people that I talk to about the business, and how many people that I talk to about the product, right? Write down how many of them. And you don't have to separate it like that. It's totally up to you. Because we're kind of, joining them all together anyways. If someone host posts for me, I'm going to ask about the product anyways, or the business anyways. And if someone is ordering product, I'm going to ask them about the host to post. So I'm kind of going back and forth anyways, but take that number, write it down in your notepad on your phone or on a notebook or wherever you'd like to do it. Tomorrow, double it, right? That's you pushing yourself to go even further. So let's just say today you count everything and you've gotten out, 50 messages today. Tomorrow, you're going to push for 100, right? The next day, you're going to push again. And when that starts to become more comfortable for you, which usually it's like the next day, you're like, okay, this is simple. I got this, right? The next day, you're going to double it again. So it's going to go from 50 to 100 to 200 to 400 to 800, so on and so forth. Okay. And you're just going to keep doubling it until you figure out how many you need to send in order to either fill your potentials page or get that loyal customer, or whatever's working best for you. Right. So I always make sure that I'm writing things down. I'm tracking how many messages I'm sending. I'm tracking how many times I hit that add button. And the more that you push yourself, the more you're going to see your business go up like this, because that momentum is building. And eventually you're going to have people pouring in your inbox because you put in the fire right now, because you cranked it on high heat and you just let it go, right? What happens if you crank the stove up to 9 with a pot of water on it and it starts boiling and you turn it right down? It doesn't go immediately down, right? It stays boiling for a couple more seconds or even a minute after you turn it down. So that's what your business is doing. That's how you create that residual. And then the more that you teach other people how to do the same exact thing, the more your residual income is going to come in throughout your business. Does that make sense? Okay. So making sure you're writing that down and then knowing why you're doing it is one of the most important things that you could do in your business. Knowing exactly why you're doing it, knowing exactly where that money is coming from. I mean, knowing exactly where that money is going and coming from, really, because you could earn bonuses or you could earn sample cash or you could make money through residual income monthly. It's really totally up to you, however you want to strategize it. And you're probably doing that with your upline anyways. But when it comes down to it, knowing why you're doing it in the first place is what's going to keep that momentum going and keep you hustling towards that goal and that dream that you've been working on. And if you don't know your why, then what you're going to do is you're going to end up cranking your heat on high. And eventually you're not going to know why you're doing it, to the point where you're going to say, well, why am I doing it? And then you're going to throw, oops, sorry guys, I got the notification. And then you're going to throw in the towel because you don't know why you're doing it in the first place. There's nothing to emotionally connect you to it. So you have to get yourself emotionally invested into your reason why you're doing it. And once you know why you're doing it, then you can put the pen to the paper, come up with a plan, and you can start gaining momentum by tracking how much you're doing every single day and doubling it until you start seeing that momentum start hitting. And you're going to know when the momentum starts hitting because you're going to start having people come to you. You're going to start having people respond back to you, when you actually message them. You're going to start seeing people add you. You're going to see your numbers go up as far as the people that are following you on Instagram and Facebook. You're going to start seeing just the results pour in and pour in and pour in. So if you're starting this business, just starting it, and you haven't seen that yet, it's because the stove needs to be cranked on high. You got to crank that sucker up, and you got to keep it fire over and over and over again, because your time is coming 100%. You just have to keep it there. It's like keeping it on rev. And I think I had one more thing, but I completely spaced it and I wrote it down, but I think we covered all of it. Okay. So, I hope that helps you guys. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat. Or if you have anything that's personal that you want to talk about, like that, has been going on in your life, or something that has been having you struggling, or you feel like maybe I'm not doing the right thing, send me a private message. Send me a message that says something like, hey, like this is this and this is going on. Let me help you and walk you through exactly what's going on and exactly what you could do to help yourself grow, right? Because that's what we're here for. So thank you guys so much for hopping on. I hope that this helped you so much, and I hope you have a great night.